Dune Part 2 is now in theaters. It looks like it picks up right where the first one left off, so I'm going to give you a quick recap of the story so far. Everything that happened in Dune Part 1, I'm going to introduce you into the world of Dune to get you caught up and ready for Part 2. The story starts on the planet of Arrakis, also known as Dune. Arrakis is a desert planet that's nearly inhospitable and inhabited by giant sandworms. It is the only planet in the galaxy that produces spice. Spice has many health benefits and will double your lifespan, and for certain species, heightens their abilities. Spice is also used for space travel, making it the most valuable substance in the universe. But spice is also highly addictive, and once it's taken, it must always be consumed, or can lead to withdrawals, which are always fatal. We're introduced to Arrakis by Chani, played by Zendaya. Chani is Fremen. The Fremen live on Arrakis. They survive on the planet mostly by using a still suit. It gets so hot on Arrakis that they need this suit that recycles moisture and keeps them hydrated. The Fremen consider spice sacred, and it's what gives them their bright blue eyes. The Fremen also worship the giant sandworms on Dune. Chani also introduces us to the Harkonnen. The Harkonnen ravage their land for spice and are cruel to the Fremen. By controlling spice production, House Harkonnen have become richer than the Emperor of the known universe. One day, by imperial decree, after 80 years of ruling Arrakis, the Emperor removes the Harkonnen from Arrakis. This is where we meet House Atreides. The Emperor is powerful and jealous and wants to get rid of House Atreides. Their power and influence over the other houses poses a threat. House Atreides and House Harkonnen are enemies, so he uses this to his advantage and gives House Atreides control of Dune in order to start a war between the two. We're taken to Caladan, an oceanic planet and the home of House Atreides. We meet Paul Atreides, played by Timothée Chalamet, and Lady Jessica Atreides, played by Rebecca Ferguson. Paul reveals he's been having dreams of Chani and the Fremen, although never ever meeting them. He was born with special skills, and we see Lady Jessica training her son to use his voice as a sort of mind control. Lady Jessica was trained in the ways of the Bene Gesserit and possesses their skills. Sometimes called witches, the Bene Gesserit are an ancient organization of female spies, theologians, and scientists whose mystic origins and enhanced physical and mental prowess make their existence integral to societal order. With the use of spice, their abilities are enhanced even more. We meet Duke Leto Atreides, played by Oscar Isaac. He is the ruler of House Atreides and Paul's father. Leto tells Paul that going to Arrakis will start a war, but he plans to use that to their advantage. He wants to partner with the Fremen to make House Atreides even more powerful than before. Duncan Idaho, played by Jason Momoa, is tasked with this mission and is sent to Arrakis to befriend the Fremen. We meet Gurney Halleck, played by Josh Brolin. He's the War Master of House Atreides and a mentor to Paul. We are taken to Giedi Prime, home of House Harkonnen, where we meet the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, played by Stellan Skarsgård. We also meet his nephew Raban, played by David Bautista. The Baron is ruler of House Harkonnen and the planetary governor. He was given an incurable disease by the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother, which gives him his abnormal shape. He wants to do whatever it takes to regain control of Dune. Lady Jessica and Paul get a visit from the Bene Gesserit. The Reverend Mother is going to perform a test on Paul to see how powerful he is and to test his skills. The test could be fatal, but Paul succeeds. The Reverend Mother asks Paul about his dreams and comes to realize how powerful he is. You see, Jessica was told to have only daughters and train them in the way of the Bene Gesserit, but instead had Paul. The Bene Gesserit always wanted to produce a mind powerful enough to break space and time, a male with their skills. The Reverend Mother and Lady Jessica go back and forth about Paul being the one. Paul overhears and confronts Lady Jessica. She reveals they have planned this since before he was born in order to ensure this being will help them into a better future, a messiah of some sort. Paul realizes his entire life has been planned out by the Bene Gesserit. House Atreides moves to Arrakis to take over spice production, and Paul is exposed to spice, making his visions even stronger. In one of those visions, he sees Lady Jessica holding a baby. Later, he tells her she's pregnant. The Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother meets with the Baron, and they decide the fate of House Atreides. House Atreides will be destroyed. The Baron promises the Reverend Mother he will not harm Paul or Jessica, but he doesn't promise he will ensure their safety. Instead, he plans to abandon them in the sands of Dune. Duncan forms a bond with the Fremen, and we meet Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem. Leto promises him that he will never hunt the Fremen as long as he governs Arrakis. Before Stilgar leaves, he tells Paul that he recognizes him, although never seeing him before. To no one's surprise, House Atreides is attacked by the Harkonnen on Arrakis. Dr. Wellington Yu, the family's doctor, shoots Leto with a dart and leaves him paralyzed. He tells Leto that he has betrayed House Atreides in exchange for the well-being of his own family. While Leto remains paralyzed, Dr. Yu installs a fake tooth filled with poison that will take his life as well as anyone around him when he bites down on it and it breaks it. Lady Jessica and Paul are captured, but they escape using their voice, and we get to see just how dangerous Lady Jessica is when the Bene Gesserit uses their skill properly. They make it out and pitch a tent deep underneath the sand. Leto, still motionless, is put in front of the Baron. The traitor, Dr. Yu, is brought in and asked to be rejoined with his family, but instead is decapitated by the Baron. He looks over and sees Leto mumbling something. He gets closer to him. Leto whispers, "Here I am, here I remain," and bites down hard, releasing the poison, killing everyone in the room. Lady Jessica feels Leto's message and realizes he has passed. Other Harkonnen arrive at the scene where Leto died and find that only the Baron has survived. Paul keeps having visions of himself with the Fremen, visions of Chani. He has also seen himself fighting in a war along with the Fremen. He realizes his father is dead. Shortly after, they are found by Duncan, who was able to escape as well. He tells him the Sardaukar helped in the attack. The Sardaukar are basically the Emperor's personal army, meaning the Emperor has taken the Harkonnen side. Lady Jessica, Paul, and Duncan make it to safety, but are soon found by the Sardaukar. Duncan gives his life to save Paul and Lady Jessica, and they escape once again. We see the Baron in a state of recovery. He tells Rabban to continue spice production on Dune, and to destroy all the Fremen as well. Paul continues to have visions of Chani and the Fremen, one Fremen in particular named Jamis, who seems to be a good friend to Paul. Lady Jessica and Paul are then nearly eaten by a sandworm and make it to safety, where they are found by the Fremen. Stilgar and the Fremen plan to take their suits and leave them to die, but Lady Jessica gets into a scuffle with Stilgar. Lady Jessica gets the upper hand over Stilgar, and he orders the Fremen to back off. Paul then realizes Chani is right behind them and was ready to kill him. He finally sees her in person for the first time. Stilgar decides to take them back with the rest of the Fremen to decide their fate, but one of the Fremen is not content with his choice and challenges Lady Jessica to a duel. Paul fights in her stead. That Fremen is Jamis. In his visions, Paul saw Jamis as a friend, and now he has to fight him to the death. Chani hands Paul a weapon made from the tooth of one of the sandworms, stating that she doesn't believe he's the one, but wants him to die with honor. The fight starts. Paul gets the upper hand many times, but is hesitant. Lady Jessica reveals that Paul has never killed a man. Paul realizes what he has to do and kills Jamis. He's accepted amongst the Fremen. Lady Jessica wants to go back to Caladan, but Paul refuses. He will honor his father's wishes and unite with the Fremen. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up everything that happened in Dune Part 1 and gets us ready for everything that's going to happen in Dune Part 2. Please like and subscribe for more movie related videos.